Sending cold outreach will not scale your SMMA past 10K a month, so let me tell you what will. I've tried it all. I've tried cold DMs, I've tried cold calls, I've tried cold email. I've sent thousands of every single one of them, and yes, it got me some calls and even some clients, but the clients that I did get were super demanding. They were much less lenient because there was no trust involved in the partnership. I had initially approached them, asking them for a favor, so they were doing me a service by jumping on a call with me, not the other way around. They were much more difficult to close, again, because there is no trust. I had to undercut myself like crazy to get them to sign that damn deal. I had to introduce all of the different, Alex Ramosi type guarantees. If you don't get this result within X days, you will get a complete refund, or we will work for free until you do. Just had to bombard them with reasons to close because fundamentally they didn't trust me. They were demanding once they became clients, and they were much less lenient, so that when we messed something up, and trust me, at some point you will fuck something up in your agency, they churned, and you don't want to have that happening. You want people to trust you and give you a second chance if you mess something up. And yeah, just not overall difficult to close, not the best type of clients. They churn quickly, they don't pay you a lot. At that point, we were signing clients at like max 1.5K a month retainers. And imagine trying to scale past, 50K a month with 1.5K a month retainers. You need like 30 clients, and it doesn't help that all of them are demanding. It just becomes a mess and it becomes unscalable. So why does it happen with cold outreach? Well, because the model is all backwards. You are asking them to do you a favor when you are reaching out to them in a cold way like this. They don't trust you. And as I said, they are doing you a service by jumping on a call, not the other way around. So my method, what I've used to scale to 50K a month without having to sign 30 clients, without constantly churning clients, and closing clients on 5K a month plus retainers. The average client at my agency actually pays $6,300 a month now. At that point, when we were at 50K a month, it was about 5K a month. And that is sending personalized Loom videos. So it's still a tactic where you are approaching people you haven't been in contact with before. So in that way, you can categorize it as a cold outreach strategy, but it solves for all of the issues that I just explained. So the way it works is that you record a personal Loom video for every single prospect. So you don't ask for permission to record a Loom video like most people do. Most agency owners, they send an email saying, hey, I've recorded a personalized Loom video for you. Do you mind if I send it over? And when they say yes, that's when they actually record it. But people aren't stupid. They know that when you are saying that, you haven't actually recorded anything. It's just a way for you to get into their pants, basically. So people don't trust that. That doesn't work anymore. You send it in the first email. And the beauty with this model is that you are targeting a very small number of leads, which may sound backwards, but point is, you choose exactly who you send Loom videos to. You only send 30 a day, so like 800 to 900 a month. You're not spamming tens or even hundreds of thousands of people with emails. You only target the exact perfect ICP for your specific agency, so that when you actually end up signing clients, they are the exact type of client you are looking for. It stands out in the inbox because, again, those business owners, especially if you are in an SMMA niche that a lot of other agency owners operate in as well, the people you are targeting are probably getting 5 to 10 cold emails a day, 2 to 3 cold calls a day. They're just being bombarded every single day. There is no way that you are actually standing out by sending a usual email. You have to put in some effort and actually create a personalized Loom video for each one of them. So what is Loom? In case you don't know, it is a screen recording software. So you install it on your computer, you start a recording. Most of the screen is just recording your screen, and then it puts you in the corner in a little bubble with your face cam so that the person sees who's actually speaking. So it's both your face cam and the screen being recorded at the same time. So super simple software. I really recommend that you use it for all types of internal operations as well, communicating with your team, communicating with your clients, sending reports, all that stuff. I've recorded like 7,000 Loom videos at this point. 4,000 of those were in relation to this Loom strategy that I'm about to explain a bit more. So I've done this, I've put in the reps, I've sent 4,000 personalized Loom videos. I know this works, and I know exactly what to say in those videos to make it work. So why it works is that you are providing value without expecting anything in return. You break through, as I said, all the generic noise. You show that you have actually spent some time putting together a video. You actually care. You've actually done something without asking anything in return. If they book, it's because they want to, because in those Loom videos, we have a very soft CTA. So you're not saying we only have 2 slots left. We're not onboarding more than 2 more clients in February. Book now, like book in the call now, or otherwise it's gone forever. It's super soft. We just say, hey, I have more ideas. If you want, we can jump on a call and discuss them. If not, that's completely fine. Up to you. Have an amazing day. So you're not putting any pressure on the person you're actually reaching out to. And if they want to book, they book, and it's because of their initiative. So they're much more interested when they jump on the call. They trust you more because they decided to take that step. You've already provided them with some value, so they know that you know what you're talking about. You're not just pitching them something and then promising to explain it on the sales call. You've already given them value. So it's such an amazing model. And as I said, it solves for all of the issues that I just described with the normal cold outreach methods. Those clients usually pay a lot more, so you don't have to change anything about the sales process or about the actual service delivery. Just changing the way you approach those people and flipping that power dynamic allows you to charge easily 3K plus a month retainers, up from like 1.5K, the way I was charging when I was doing the cold outreach myself. So the moment we implemented this Loom strategy, we began increasing our prices with every single client. So first 1.5K a month, then 2K a month, then 2.5K a month, and then we capped out at about 5.56K a month, at which point you need to begin, building a personal brand and actually building more trust to get those even higher ticket clients. But you can easily scale past 100K a month with 5K a month retainers, the way I've done at my own agency. So you don't focus on going like to the moon, just focus on the next step you need to do now to sign those 5K a month retainers to get you to that 50K a month. Clients that come through Looms have more trust and are less demanding once they actually become clients, which is also amazing. So when you actually sign them as clients, they ask fewer questions, they doubt you less. When you are sending reports, they usually just give you a thumbs up because they trust you to do what you're best at, and they don't want to mingle in that because, again, they signed because they trust you. They didn't sign because you forced them to and because you use these like scarcity dynamics and different tactics to get them to book the call, and then on the sales call you like get them to talk about their problem. None of that. They just trust you, and that's why they sign, and that's why they become such great clients that stay with you for 9+ months. I actually today did the math on the LTV and the lifetime in my agency. So the average client in my agency that is a client with us now has stayed with us for over 10 months, and they have paid us over $70,000. So the average client has paid us over $70,000 in my agency. Think about that. And that only happens when you sign clients in the right way. So enough about that. You're probably pretty smart, so you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to walk around this topic any more than I've already done. So let me show you and let me tell you about my results with this specific model. So as I said, I've sent 4,000 Loom videos that are cold Loom videos sent to potential clients. Of those, 50% have opened them, so 2,000 of the Loom videos have been seen. Out of those, 10% replied, so 10% of the original 4,000 Loom, so 400 replied. 3% booked, which means that I've booked 120 sales calls from those 4,000 Looms. 90% show up rate. So out of those 120 sales calls, 110 actually showed up and I was able to take them. And out of those 110, about 33 closed and became clients. And again, 33 clients, 5K a month. Of course, we had some churn in there because this was at the beginning of my agency. Our service delivery wasn't amazing. Some of these were less than 5K a month, but with 30 clients, like 30, 40, 50K a month is right around the corner. You just need one strategy that works well, that books you calls consistently, that you know that if you put in another 2 hours, you sent another 30 Looms, you will book one more call, which in a week's time will lead to another client. It's so predictable and so scalable when you know that, okay, this amount of Looms leads to this amount of booked calls, which leads to this amount of new clients, and you just smash out the Looms and you grow your agency that way. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but at least for me, when I was in your shoes, stuck below 10K a month, I struggled with that consistency. I was doing a lot. I was putting in like 12, 14 hours a day. I was spamming some emails here, doing some cold calling here, doing some cold DMs here. Then I have to reply to a client and then I have to do some client work. So I'm constantly busy, but nothing is consistent. So I'm constantly putting in the hours. That is consistent. That was the only consistent thing in my life, that I was putting in the hours, but the results were never consistent because I was putting in the hours on different things and I was not iterating on them. And when they didn't work, instead of trying to make them work, I just tried something else. So it was such an eye-opener for me. Once I began doing this Loom strategy, I told myself that I will send 1,000 Loom videos, and if it still hasn't booked me and closed me a single client, I will try something else. At that point, I'd already closed like 7-8 clients, so that wasn't really an issue. But point is, you have to lock in on a single acquisition strategy. You don't need more than one single acquisition strategy that works well to scale you to those, 30, 40, 50K a month numbers, which is when business really becomes interesting. So 10K a month, it's fine. It's a cool number. Everyone, scales towards 10K a month because people feel like that's when they get freedom. But 10K a month, you pay like maybe 2-3K a month in different expenses. Maybe you have a founder, maybe not. You take home like 5K a month. That's nothing. 5K a month is like half a first class ticket to Dubai. So you're not going to live the life you dream of at, 5K a month take home pay. But when your agency is doing 50K a month, that's when it really becomes interesting. So what I'm trying to say is that this one acquisition strategy is the difference between you being stuck where you are now and you being, living the life you've always dreamt of, traveling if that's what you want to do, buying your dream car, living in that penthouse in Miami, whatever it is for you. This one thing is what you need to do consistently for 6 months, and you will get there. There's no way that if you spam this consistently, you iterate, there's no way you will fail and not sign clients. And that's the beauty with the agency model. You're not starting a kind of startup that needs proving, and you need to make an idea and then code an app and spend like $300,000 on that, and then you have this go-to-market strategy. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. An agency is like a no-brainer model. It will always work. People always need marketing services. And if you approach them in this super logical way, I hope this is logical for you now that I've explained it. It's like such a no-brainer way to approach people. You just give them value. You tell them, I can help you. If they want your help, they will book. If they don't want your help, they won't book. I'm just getting riled up here. But the point is, it's such a no-brainer once I realized it. And it was such a help for me to, as I said, live the life I've dreamt of. So I'm so excited for you to actually implement this and use it in your own agency. And if you want my help with implementing this system and everything else I've done to scale my own agency to $130,000 a month. My agency, as I said, is doing consistently $130K a month. We have 12 employees. They do all the work for me. We have about 15 clients. So we only work with high ticket clients. We don't spam clients. I've scaled, consistently, and I'm now in the position to help agency owners like yourself also scale, because I have more hours in the day that I'm not working on the agency because I have the right systems. So if that sounds interesting and you want my help personally one-on-one to help you scale your agency, reach out to me on Instagram. But let's keep running. This is still not it. I want to explain exactly how you do this as well. So the way this works, the strategy, what you do on like a daily basis to actually make this work is that you source 30 leads the day before. So in the evening, sit down, source 30 leads. So you only want to source the most relevant and highest quality leads, because again, we are putting in a lot of effort. We are making it personalized. So we also expect to only get replies from the best of the best clients. So only source the most relevant and highest quality leads. Use Apollo, LinkedIn Sales Nav, or Google Maps. There are tons of other, lead sourcing softwares. Whatever market you're in, there is probably a specific lead sourcing software for that market. But point is, source 30 leads. I really like Apollo for eCom, Google Maps for, physical services that sell some kind of service, and LinkedIn Sales Nav just for everything. It's a bit more difficult to navigate, but it still works. So the first thing you do in the morning is that you record those 30 back-to-back looms for all of the leads. So you sit down, you have a list of your leads, you open one website at a time, and you record those looms. And the reason I did it in the morning, and I really recommend that you do it in the morning, the first thing in the morning, is because it is painful. It's not a super enjoyable thing to do. You're not probably gonna love your life while you are recording the looms, because it is pretty monotonous. It is pretty tiring for your voice. Like even now I've been speaking for 16 minutes and my voice is already breaking. And for the looms, you have to speak for basically 2 hours straight, of course, with breaks. But point is, it is training. It's not really enjoyable. So swallow that frog first. Do that as the first thing in the morning. Get that out of the way, and then you can spend time on everything else. So sit down, record 30 back-to-back looms, put them back in the leads list next to each one of your leads, and The way you actually record those videos is that the first 30 seconds are a quick intro. So you just say, hey, I'm Alex. I just stumbled over your website and I wanted to give you a quick breakdown of what I would improve in your ads. Then you spend 2 minutes actually giving them value. So you open their website. Based on that, you find their ads library on Meta and on Google and maybe even LinkedIn if that's what your potential clients use. You open that and you give them feedback on their ads. And there is so much stuff you can give feedback on. The most important thing to remember here is that the people you are reaching out to, if their ads are shit, they probably don't understand ads very well. So don't use very specific and like very heavy language. Try to dub it down and try to use like 5th grader language-ish. I mostly comment on the creative aspects because it's so easy to understand. So if you haven't already, deep dive into Meta Andromeda. It's the new algorithm update that came last summer to Meta, to how they actually serve ads and which ads you should be producing. Based on that, you will get a pretty good feel of what to comment on in those ad accounts. Usually they don't have enough creatives. There is not enough creative diversity. There is too much text in the creatives. The creatives aren't really pretty at all. It seems like they're designed in like Word or something. And I'm not saying that you need pretty creatives to actually make ads work, but it is usually a good boost to just have a nicely designed creative. So point is, deep dive into creatives, understand exactly how Meta works and how it serves ads. And then just tell them that in the ads, in the Loom videos. I mean, walk through the ads, comment on very specific things. So don't just give them this like very general stuff like, hey, you guys need more ads. Go through one by one ad and tell them, I would change this, I would change this, I would restructure this because of X, Y, and Z. Always give them a reason. So don't just say I would do this, but always explain why. So because that means if you change this and this text, you will be targeting a completely different audience, which increases your total addressable market, which is what Meta wants you to do with this new Meta Andromeda update, which means that you will have lower CPMs, whatever the point is. Always explain exactly why that happens. But again, don't spend too much time on this, just 2 minutes. With time, you will kind of be saying the same thing over and over again because you will find the same things you can comment on in every single ad account. But yeah, just give them 2 minutes of value. And at the end, the last like 15, 30 seconds, again, just have a soft CTA. So you say, I love talking about ads. I can keep talking about ads for hours. I don't want to waste your time right now. I have more ideas for how you can improve your ads. If you want, I'd love to jump on a call and discuss those with you. If not, that's completely fine. Have an amazing day. Just super simple, super soft. You say that you have more ideas. If they want, you can discuss it. If not, then not, completely no issues, which again gives them the control. You are asking them to book the call. If they're interested, if they're not interested, they're not going to book the call. You're not forcing them to do anything. Super soft, and it actually increases your appointment booking rate from what I've seen versus being super heavy and super salesy. So take that as you will. You record those 30 looms, you put them, as I said, in the leads list next to each lead, and you send them out using Lemlist. So Lemlist is an email automation software where you set up certain flows. You upload the lead list and it will then automatically populate that flow with the person's, first name, their business name, the Loom link, all of that stuff. And it just automatically sends them out and follows up on them. And the cool thing with Lemlist is that you can create personalized images for every single one of your prospects. So the way I use it is that and this is like a cheat code, like lock in here. What I've done is that I've created a template that looks like a video player that replaces the background with their website. So the image is 16 by 9. You have a play button, which is just like an image. You have an image of me in the corner to make it look like it's an actual video. And then Lemlist automatically replaces the background with that prospect's website. So it goes on their website. It's like takes a screenshot. It replaces the background so that it looks like I am recording a video for them on their website that looks like a player. And when they actually click play on that image, it sends them to the Loom player. So it's such an easy way to get more people to click, because to them, it seems like the video is embedded in the actual email, so they don't have to go anywhere. That's also like an issue people have with going to like random links to see videos. This way, you're kind of like baiting them into clicking on the link, but at the end of the day, you're giving them value. you want them to click on the link because you have something to give them for free. So I don't have any, moral issues with that. And yeah, replace, as I said, their email, their first name, their last name, all of that stuff, just typical email outreach, and get Lemlist to do all of the reaching out for you. In a month, go through your list and find as many of the prospects as possible on LinkedIn and send them the videos there as possible. So in a month, you should have about 800, 900 leads with looms attached to them. Go through and see who hasn't replied, find those people on LinkedIn and send them that video on LinkedIn, because it's much higher leverage to just make sure that the people you've already recorded videos for actually get a chance to watch the video versus just sourcing new leads and sending out more videos. So once you have, let's say, 500 videos that haven't been seen because people haven't just opened those emails, find those 500 people on LinkedIn, send them a DM sending the Loom video, and another 50% will probably watch the video that way. If you can contact them in another way, please do. If you're, in China and you can send them a message through WeChat or something, do that. Just get as many people as possible to actually see those videos. As I said, it's much higher leverage than trying to record new videos for new leads every single time people don't watch the video. So a lot of talking from my side. I'm so excited for this strategy because, again, it allowed me to live the life I've always dreamt of. It allowed me to scale my agency from 10K a month to 50K a month. It allowed me to sign some of the best clients that are still working with us now that we are at 130K a month. So again, I repeat myself, if you want my help implementing this system and every other system related to the acquisition, the service delivery, and the internal operations in your agency that I've used in my own agency to scale to $130,000 a month, reach out to me on Instagram. Let's talk about it. Other than that, thank you for watching and have an amazing week.